Hi, welcome to ChatGPT Foundations. My name is Mark. In this short course, I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT as an AI-powered virtual assistant to help you get work done. Let's start off by looking at ChatGPT and its capabilities. ChatGPT is an advanced language model developed by OpenAI based on the GPT-4 architecture. GPT-4, or Generative Pre-trained Transformer 4, is a powerful AI model that can understand and generate human-like text. ChatGPT can assist you in various tasks such as drafting emails, creating content, answering questions, and much more. Let's take a look at an example of how ChatGPT can help you draft an email. I can make my request, known as a prompt of ChatGPT, by typing in the Send a Message box. Draft an email about a project update. I can then press return or click the icon. And now ChatGPT generates a response. After a few moments, the email is complete. Now, because ChatGPT doesn't know anything about the project to which we're referring, it has actually generated a template. Notice it says Dear and then in brackets recipient's name. In the first paragraph, there are brackets where you can fill in the project name. The sections of the email include key accomplishments, next steps, upcoming meetings and events with blanks for you to fill in, and finally a closing where you can fill in your name, title, and company information. You'll notice that while ChatGPT is an excellent virtual assistant, it didn't do all the work for you. It provided you with a time-saving starting point for you to create the email. The key to effective communication with ChatGPT is crafting the right prompts. This is a process known as prompt engineering. Let's go over some techniques for crafting effective prompts to improve your interactions with ChatGPT. First, be detailed. Provide specific information about the type of result you expect from ChatGPT. I am writing a blog post. My audience is people learning web design. I'd like to write about how one can learn UI and UX skills for free. Please provide 10 possible titles for my post. Our next tip for crafting better prompts is to provide context. Provide information about the audience for the content you're developing. Sometimes it helps to provide ChatGPT with the text that would precede what is about to be written. And finally, create your prompts using step-by-step instructions. It's best to enumerate each step or use shorter prompts for multi-step requests. Here's an example of how to turn a vague prompt into a more specific one that will yield better results. Write a paragraph about science. That's a pretty vague prompt. Let's take a look at the results. And with a vague prompt, we get a fairly vague result. Science is a systematic and rigorous pursuit of knowledge driven by the insatiable curiosity to understand the natural world and its underlying principles. An interesting response, but probably not what you wanted. Let's write a revised and more specific prompt. Write a paragraph about the importance of science research in the field of medicine. A much more specific prompt. The answer we get from ChatGPT, of course, will be more specific as well. The importance of scientific research in the field of medicine cannot be overstated, as it forms the very foundation upon which advancements in medical treatments, diagnostics, and prevention strategies are built. Welcome to Section 3. In this section, we'll discuss some of the limitations of ChatGPT and what to keep in mind while you're using it. It's important to understand that ChatGPT, while powerful, has its limitations. The first limitation of ChatGPT is inaccurate or incomplete information. Remember, ChatGPT was trained on text from the internet, which may contain both inaccurate and incorrect information. The second limitation of ChatGPT is verbosity. ChatGPT may sometimes generate responses that are unnecessarily long or overly detailed. Text returned by ChatGPT may include irrelevant information or cause the core message to be lost. You can provide specific instructions to ChatGPT, limiting the amount of information returned. The final limitation I'm going to discuss is sensitivity to input phrasing. ChatGPT's response can vary significantly based on slight changes in the way a prompt is phrased. To work effectively with ChatGPT, you need to be aware of these limitations and know how to handle them. Here are 3 suggestions for dealing with the limitations of ChatGPT. First, verify information. Always fact-check. Remember, ChatGPT learned from information on the internet, and some of that information is incorrect. Secondly, reframe your prompts. Ask your questions a number of different ways and see which yields the best results. And finally, be patient and persistent. ChatGPT is still new and experimental at this stage. It's bound to get better as time goes on. Let's write a prompt that exposes one of the limitations of ChatGPT. Who won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 2022? The response indicates that ChatGPT's knowledge cutoff date is September 2021, and as of that date, the Nobel Prize had not yet been awarded. Let's take a look at an instance where we'd receive a verbose response, and then create a better prompt to get a response more suited to our needs. Tell me about the history of baseball resulted in a verbose or long response. However, let's try a different prompt. By providing context and asking for a limited response, I received more useful information from ChatGPT. By being aware of ChatGPT's limitations and knowing how to handle them, you can make ChatGPT a more effective assistant in your work environment. To get the most out of ChatGPT, it's essential to follow best practices when interacting with your AI assistant. The first best practice is to be mindful of biases. ChatGPT may sometimes reflect biases present in its training data. A second best practice is to encourage collaboration. Use ChatGPT as a collaborative tool to enhance your work, spark creativity, and generate new ideas. Don't rely solely on AI for decision making, but rather use it to support your own thought process. And the final best practice, monitor content. If you're using ChatGPT to create content for public consumption or sharing, make sure you review and edit its output to maintain quality, accuracy, and adherence to ethical guidelines. When using ChatGPT, it's important to keep ethical considerations in mind to ensure responsible use of the AI technology. Ethical considerations include data privacy and confidentiality. Be cautious when using ChatGPT to process sensitive or confidential information. Ensure that you're adhering to privacy regulations and guidelines like GDPR or HIPAA. Another ethical consideration is content responsibility and accountability. When using ChatGPT to generate content or information, ensure that the output aligns with ethical and legal standards. This includes avoiding generation of content that promotes misinformation, hate speech, discrimination, or other harmful materials. And finally, respect intellectual property. When using ChatGPT to create content or derive insights, be mindful of potential copyright and intellectual property infringements. Let's look at an example of an unethical query and see how ChatGPT handles it. How can I create a computer virus to steal information from others? That's obviously an unethical query. So ChatGPT's response is, as an AI developed by OpenAI, I'm programmed to follow strict ethical guidelines, which include not engaging in or promoting any form of illegal activity, including hacking, creating, or distributing computer viruses or malware. Did you enjoy the course? I'm certainly glad that I was able to make you feel more comfortable and more informed about working with ChatGPT. And while I'll get full credit for creating this course, I did have a collaborator. That's right, ChatGPT helped me create this course. The outlines, the scripts, and many of the activities were created initially by ChatGPT. Now, when I say I had a collaborator, what that means is I worked with ChatGPT to create the course. I liked some of the ideas, and then I added some of my own in order to create the course that you just enjoyed. I do hope that you'll find ChatGPT to be a helpful collaborator in your work. I'll see you soon, and I wish you well.